Women's rights? Today, that rolls right off our tongue. In the ancient world, this was an oxymoron. This was a contradiction. It would be like saying a four-sided triangle. You know what I mean? It'd be like a married bachelor, or, a jumbo shrimp, or country music. You know what I mean? I had to. I'm sorry. I hate it. Women's rights? Women have rights? Again, they would have choked on this. For us, we gulp it right down. Of course there's women's rights, absolutely. Plutarch, first century, Spartan women, very liberated, were kept, quote, under lock and key. Aristotle, silence gives grace to woman. He's not the only one. People from the period, Sophocles, Euripides, O woman, silence is an adornment. Silence and discretion are most beautiful in women, and remain quiet within the house. Translation, stay at home and be quiet. That was the ancient world. Demosthenes, 4th century, we men have concubines for pleasure, female servants for our daily care, sex, and wives to give us legitimate children and to be guardians of our households. Everything was for the man in the ancient world. Latin, you can learn a lot by studying a language. The Latin language had 25 words for a prostitute. It didn't have a single word for a male virgin. Holland again. In Rome, men no more hesitated to use slaves and prostitutes to relieve themselves of their sexual needs than they did to use the side of the road as a toilet. In Latin, the same word maio meant both ejaculate and urinate. It was the same idea. It's a bodily process, nothing more. No moral content at all. Now imagine being in that world. Imagine being in that world. And you see this itinerant Jewish rabbi who has women whom he has healed, women whom he has taught, women who are his disciples. That wasn't okay in the Greco-Roman world. It wasn't okay in the Jewish world. Better for the words of the Torah to be burned than to be put into the hands of a woman. And here we have Jesus saying, women can follow me, never abused them, never harmed them, but taught them, loved them. Paul writing, there is no longer male and female, you're all one in Christ Jesus. How about this one? You probably skim right over this. All of you singles, you know who you are. You skim right over this. Because you're just like, of course, I just date whoever I want, and then I get married to whoever I want, and there's free. Look at this. 1 Corinthians 7:39, if a woman's husband dies, she is free to marry anyone she wishes, only in the Lord. Ancient people would be going, you Christian, you got to get your women under control. All right? These women, they're going to be marrying whoever they want. And Paul would go, yeah, freedom, individualism, rights. How about this? 1 Peter 3:7. Treat your wife with understanding as you live together. She is your equal partner in God's new gift of life. They don't even go into this whole idea of concubines and female slaves and what. It's treat your wife with understanding as an equal. Husbands, love your wives and never treat them harshly. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. That is the standard to which Paul points, the way that Jesus loved sacrificially, fiercely. That love is the love that husbands have for their wives. Let me put it this way. If you were an ancient child or an ancient woman, you would pray that you would be in a Christian home. Of all the homes you could live in, you would pray, please get me into a Christian home. Therefore, is there any wonder that in the burgeoning Christian movement, there were twice as many women as there were men. 2/3, 1/3. Celsus, the critic of Christianity, argued with Origen, AD 250. Christianity, you just bring in all the women into your religion. Yes, we do. Women finally found dignity, personhood, and value in the Christian community.